Hi, welcome to Texas Lone Wolf channel. Today we're going to discuss the characteristic of an omega female. What sets her apart from everybody in the social hierarchy, alright? And what distinguishes her from the hierarchy. So, we're going to cover some major topics here. Alrighty. So the omega females listed right there. Now, people assume that omega female is the weakest due to her position in the hierarchy. Not always the case. Some even mock them to the point of making erotic novels and animation about them. However, these women get way less credit than they deserve. Their dedication to their professional life is on par with the alphas. See, here's the deal. The omega females are outcast. And they're extremely romantic women. There's more such facts about her. Let's get started. All right. Now, the infographic on the omega female is intelligent, messy, yet creative, aloof, lives in her thoughts. She's also empathetic while being a child at heart. Here's some of the female traits. She keeps to herself. She's intelligent. She's empathetic. She's clumsy, yet creative. Does not care to fit in. Her social circle is small. She's got a childlike behavior at heart, aloof, hypersensitive. Wow, are you catching on to this? So, now, who is an omega female? She's an introverted woman with a very small inner circle. She's an overachiever at her work. If she's interested in her work, she's confident in herself, doesn't belong to social groups. She's a die-hard romantic and knows her worth. Now, let's get to know her, shall we? The omega female traits, okay? She is a social butterfly. She's close to only a few friends, but does that imply she clings to them all the time? No. Or does she have a life of her own? Yeah, she does. She's extremely introverted. The omega female is popular for her introversion. She doesn't feel comfortable joining events with unknown people. She had no choice but to join. She feels like a fish out of water. But she also has limited social skills, which is a big issue when it comes to getting along with others. So she can't spend time or connect with people if she's new to them. All right? She likes to keep her circle small, so to speak. Omega woman doesn't like to make a lot of friends. Yeah, there's some that do, and they turn around and they get burnt. They get the raw end of the shaft. And if you become friends with one, you do her dirty, or you give her the raw end of the deal, you might as well forget second chances, because omega females do not give second chances. This is why she keeps her circle small. Alrighty. Omega woman does not like to make a lot of friends. Her friend circle usually 2 or 3 women she's met at different phases of her life. While making friends, she focuses on quality instead of quantity. Most people feel that she'll be lonely because she doesn't have friends. But for now, she's content with a few, doesn't want to extend it. But do you blame her? As I described. All right. And number 3, she's way more intelligent than people think. Being an omega female, people generally assume she's way inferior in looks and intellect. However, that's not even close to the truth. Her workplace, she's a popular problem solver due to her creative intelligence. People take them for granted. That's in state agencies and you name it. She gets taken for granted. Okay? And as long as she feels intellectually challenged in the work which she give her best, her superiors are impressed by her effort. Okay, she's empathetic towards everyone. And Omega woman is known to have a lot of empathy within her. She can feel others' emotions even when they don't explain a lot. So she's like a radar. She can pick up cues. So she can also help others out as she puts herself in their shoes to understand their troubles. She won't ever tell others, I understand your pain or I'll help you out unless she means it. But take note, you do not want to burn those bridges with her. Once you do, she's done with you. Period. All right? Number 5, she struggles due to her empathetic nature. Due to her empathy, she can feel others' emotions when she doesn't want to. Who's that described? She usually does not let others' thoughts or opinions affect her. When she interacts with big groups of people, she's overwhelmed. She feels anxious and breaks down when others' negative emotions push her off the edge. Do not cause the Omega female to fall off the edge. Now, she hates shallow conversation. She's similar to a Sigma female. She does not like small talk. If Sigma females find small talk boring AF. So she gets turned off. She doesn't understand the meaning or purpose of these topics since none of these help her grow in any way. She does not like to invest her time in them. That's talking about the Omega female. She does not like to invest in that. Now, number 7, she's interested in deep discussions. Alrighty? Instead, if someone talks about deep topics, she's extremely interested in those. Might be about global welfare, universe, world, politics, science, arts, meaning of life and death, etc. If her opinion is different from the other person, she spends an hour debating about it. But she doesn't think she's always correct and open to being enlightened. She's open to being informed. See, Omega females, they want to learn. She's interested in deep topics and discussion. She wants to learn. Number 8, she's a bit messy. She's obsessed with deep intellectual learning facts of life, but she forgets to take care of her surroundings. She's pretty disorganized in both her personal and professional life. At her home, you'll never find things in your own place. At work, her desk is chaotic. Only she knows where her things are. It's pretty chaotic. Number 9, she knows she's different. Since childhood, Omega woman always felt like an outcast. Do you see where I'm going at with this? She tried to fit in with her friends in the neighborhood, at school, at college, but she never had anything in common with others. So, eventually she accepted that she's different. Now she don't want to be part of any social group like a Sigma female. See, Sigma female and Omega female both have some similar things in common. Except the Sigma female wants to be feminine. And number 10, she's childish. Girls can hardly keep their inner purity as they grow up. They feel judged and self-conscious if they act childish when they grow up. Women are made a lot of certain ways, sacrificing inner child, but the Omega woman cherishes its innocence. She never let it fade, even revive other childishness. Okay? They're a much interesting trait of an Omega female. To know them, click here. So I may do that to sum it all up in a bit. So you're in charge of an omega female. You must definitely know about her good and bad sides. Let's find them here. Now, omega female strengths and weaknesses. Most people assume that omega women are weakest, or that they're full of weaknesses. Handling them is a big deal. They can hardly imagine them having any strength. It's time to change those thoughts here. Number one, she enjoys her own company. Omega females are introverted, like to have only a handful of friends. Most people assume that she's clingy around her friends and loved ones, or she feels lonely without them. You see, I'm going to hammer out the truth that you need to know about the omega females, okay? However, they don't need other company to feel good. They spend time in solitude while reading books, playing video games, or enjoy time alone. Now, take note. Number two, she feels emotionally strong with her inner circle. She has 2 or 3 close friends. People think she's mostly discontent. Well, society needs to learn to kick rocks and quit going around judging people. Right. Whether you're from the alpha to the omega or the sigma, people need to be left alone and let them do their own thing in life. Okay? Now, but having more friends never implies she's happy. Rather, an omega female only befriends people she can trust and relate to. She only let her guard down around people with similar beliefs and thoughts. They mostly support each other whenever they need help. So, are you this kind of woman? Then you more than likely might be an omega female. All right? Omega females are very, very sharp intellectually. All right? No, as I said, she's very sharp intellectually. Number 3, she's super intelligent. Omega females are intellectual beings. They're not alpha female when it comes to leadership success, but they are intelligent in problem solving and resolving conflicts. They're usually silent around others, but don't sit still when they notice others in trouble. People look up to them for hard work and meticulous solutions. Okay? Number 4, she doesn't want to fit in. Everyone wants to belong somewhere in society. Nobody likes the feeling of being alone or abandoned. Moreover, pressure is way higher for women. They must fit in social group or be treated like outsiders. But omega women know better than yield to such groundless pressure. They stay independent despite the circumstances. So, number 5, she protects her innocent heart. Society is cruel to any woman who acts innocently. They're called immature, aren't taken seriously, even seen as targets of abuse. Most kids are taught to act mature, so they don't become victim of those, all right? Despite everything, Omega woman keeps her innocent inside alive and hidden. She only shows them when she's on her own or around trustworthy people. But if you're wondering if everything about her is good, well, it's not like any other human being, so she has weaknesses like these. Now, the weaknesses we're going to discuss is her empathy overwhelms her. Since she's an empath, okay, she can feel other emotions quite vividly. If people say anything to her face, she doesn't feel hurt instantly. But everything stays in the back of her mind. When she's not busy, she often overthinks and puts herself in a worse situation, on the verge of losing her calm and breaking down. Number 2, shallow convo is not her cup of tea. People usually strike up conversation with a small talk, otherwise how do strangers ever start talking? But she can hardly stand shallow conversations. That's not her cup of tea. She don't expect anyone to bring up deep topics. When someone mentions something shallow, she can't contain her thoughts. She might not say anything, but her expression gives her away. And people think she's arrogant. Number three, she's this organized person. Where she goes, she's a big pile of mess. At the office, papers, files are all over the place. At home, her hair dryer's in the kitchen, ladles in the living room. She feels a great sense of peace with a mess. She never thinks about organized. If she shares her space with others, this can get on her nerves. She lives her life very chaotic. Right? Number four, she may not work consistently. An Omega female achieves more than her target at work, only if she feels intellectually challenged. If her job makes her brain work, she devotes more hours and works harder. But everyone might think too much of her. She won't be able to meet these expectations if the task isn't that interesting. She won't succeed professionally if that's the case. Number five, she might need a makeover. Since she's a complete mess, it can harm her physical appearance. She might stay too focused on deeper aspects of her life to focus on her skin, hair, or outfit. This will be a major issue in her professional and romantic life. Without a makeover, she'll struggle with getting a job or a partner. Now, do you believe she has more weakness than strength? Before you assume anything, know the full truth here. But hey, you're an Omega female. You wonder what good or bad about your personality. Come on, let's talk here. All right, we're going to look at the pros and cons of an Omega female. Before starting, remember every human being is flawed. Don't put yourself down. Personality makes your life easier to boost your self-confidence. Let's start with how that happens here. Pros. Number one, you're empathetic towards others. Since you're an empath, you know exactly how people around you feel. You can put yourself in their shoes and understand their worries. You can tell them things you want to hear and cheer them up. You're loved by everyone because you can be so understanding during hard times. They feel blessed you don't take advantage of their weakness and make fun of them. Are you getting this? Self-awareness results in your confidence. You know yourself the best, whether it's about your emotions, thoughts, ideas, action, boundaries, or anything else. In your life, you take aware the action, decision. You know what you want from life. But so nobody can make you second guess yourself whether people are genuinely concerned or want to play with you. You never feel insecure and you're always assertive. Are you getting interested? Type below in the comments below, all right? Now, you're serious about love, number three. Modern dating is all about casual things. People aren't serious about relationships with men and women. People want to connect their bodies, but not their minds. You're one of a kind. You aren't a gold digger. You believe in true love and don't judge potential romantic connection based on their looks or wallet. Women like you make men hope for love. Does that fit your description? If so, let me know in your comments. Number four, you respect yourself. In romantic relationship, you don't demand a lot. You want to be cared for and loved and respected. Your partner must be loyal to you. You only seek a bare minimum for a healthy bond. You never take anyone for granted. You want quality, romance, or stay single forever. Whichever happens, you won't sell yourself short. All right? Number five, you don't feel jealous about others' fame. You don't desire to be center of attention. You only befriend only a few people that understand you. So people that often assume that extroverted can't be your friends. But you can encourage your friend to live their life. If they want fame and popularity or desire to party with others, you let them be. You can be happy even if they don't spend all the time with you. Nobody claims everything is great about your personality. There's some issues which are to expect. Because you're a human being, not all that position of your personality in a hierarchy. Are you ready to improve yourself? Here you go. Okay. Cons are you always struggle to deal with reality. You're way different from others. For instance, you don't like small talk. Okay. You're more interested in deep conversation. Hardly many people share that same interest. Or you're serious about a relationship, but most people around you discourage you. They ask you for itself or anything you get. You struggle to deal with these, often immerse yourself in fantasy world. You're bored and tired of reality. Number 2, you might become lonely. For now, you don't need a lot of friends. You feel comfortable with your own intimate circle. Your friends will become busier with their own personal, professional life eventually. Most of their time will be devoted to work or family. You'll be way lower on the priority list, so you might get lonely when you grow old. All right? Number 3, you can't be your best self without a bit of help and guidance. Due to your empathetic side, you feel overwhelmed by other emotions. You focus way more on people's emotions than your own. You forget to focus or take care of your own emotions. You must get regular appointments with a mental health therapist or life coach. Are you getting it? Your boss might expect too much from you. Okay, that's number 4. When you feel interested at a task or work harder, you feel motivated to pick up challenge that makes you look amazing. You overwork and overachieve and make your boss rely on you. They expect you to constantly overdo it. But you don't perform similarly if you don't feel interested. You disappoint them, they might even take it out on you for poor performance. Number 5, you can't maintain a great bond with acquaintances. People don't know each other well, resort to small talk to break the ice, but you're not interested. Rather, you can't suppress your negative thought reaction to it. You either leave the room or seem bored. Other person might talk a lot and you zone out. This hurts them, thinks you're snobby, but your bond with acquaintance doesn't work out. Okay, now if you're ready to know more about these interesting facts, click here. I'll do that later. But you're at the bottom of the hierarchy and wonder how different alphas are. Yeah, let's discuss that right here. Okay. Omega female versus the alpha female. All right. People worship the alpha women and look down on omega women. So this is the difference between alpha and an omega woman. Huge. Whether they are completely different or not, let's find out here. Okay, they're both are confident. Okay. Omega females are self-aware, no doubt, but that makes them insecure. If people judge them in their action, they stick to their grounds. They do everything mindfully and they're sure that they don't mess anything up. Alpha females are self-confident. They don't rule, but they rule the hierarchy. Whether they take risks or follow the usual path, they always win in their life, which results in their confidence. Okay, the ambitiousness of the Omega female varies, unlike alpha women. Now, Omega females feel ambition in a professional and academic life only if it's interesting. If the task makes her use her brain and research a lot, she can't resist the challenge. But if the task isn't challenging, her performance falls drastically. However, an alpha female is always ambitious in every areas of her life. The task itself doesn't change her drive. Now, Omega female desire privacy, unlike the alpha female. So, let's take a good look at this. Omega women are introverted, so they don't want any attention. When they join a social event, they retreat to an inconspicuous corner. She feels more comfortable on her own than entertaining vain small talk. An alpha female, on the other hand, has fun being the center of attention. She expands her social circle and feels left out without spotlight on her. Okay? Number 4, Omega women want to be pursued. Alpha women pursue. That's a big difference. In romantic relationships, the Omega female wants her potential partner to woo her. She wants to be courted like in the past. She doesn't want to chase her partner by herself and wants them to make the first move. Alpha females don't wait for their crush and they hit on them first. They don't care what the world thinks. Once they get their eyes on someone, they go after them. That's a big difference. Number 5, Omega women may not be visually pretty, unlike alpha women. Okay, Omega females may not pay attention to their appearance. They're too messy and hard to care about how they look. They also stay disorganized space that don't put much effort into herself or her surrounding. Her crush might judge whether she's even care for them. An alpha female is considered the prettiest of all. They take care of themselves and are organized, which attracts many partners. Now, before you assume they're all different, let's check out the complete comparison here. I'm not going to click on that, all right? I'll let you do that in the description box below, okay? But if you're curious about the comparison about the remaining personality, here you go. Okay? Now, comparison with the remaining 4 personalities. Omega females may not have much such distinct differences or similarities with the remaining female personalities. Okay? Here are some subtle differences. So to avoid unnecessary repetition, let's know the important factors about Omega female here. Okay, number 1, Omega females are introverted, homebodies, and confident. These women like to be on their own instead of going out. They're ready to step out if it's with their loved ones. Otherwise, she never does it willingly. She stays at home, enjoys her time by herself. She'll play video games, read fantasy novels, or watch videos about deep facts or about life in the world. They're known to be self-aware, which makes them confident. Okay? Number 2, she's sympathetic and emotionally intelligent. Due to her empathy, she's emotionally intelligent. She understands others' feelings and thoughts well. She can put herself in their position and think fairly. She often suggests the best advice for others. However, she feels overwhelmed by others' thoughts. During these times, she can't help but take care of herself before she thinks about others. Number 3, she wants someone to pursue her before she does. She doesn't settle for less. Okay, in romantic relationships, she wants her partner to chase her instead of the other way around. She believes in old school romantic stories. She grew up reading and watching romance novels and movies. She wants that in her life. She doesn't even want a wealthy or powerful partner. They must be at least take care of her, respect her, and be loyal and loving. Okay, number 4, she doesn't care to fit in. She knows she's different, except to be one. She doesn't want to belong to a social group or a hierarchy. She gave up on trying to fit in, but she tried that at some point. Number 5, she's a messy person. She often forgets to tidy her space, her home, or her desk at work, or her school. It's always messy. She isn't an organized person, but she remembers where she puts things. Now you're all set with the basic about the Omega female, so let's start off in order. Now we're going to go ahead and get into it, okay? Omega female versus beta females. There's great big differences. The Omega female will not go out shopping, being a shopaholic. The beta female will do that, okay? Beta females are known to be meek, submissive, sacrifices. She puts herself way down than she is. So an Omega woman is much more confident than her. If you're curious about how these people are, let's dig in. Comparing an Omega female and the beta females are unreactive. Omega women are confident about their choices, but beta females are submissive, even step back to avoid conflicts. If their choices lead to fights, they're pretty ready to yield to the other person, which makes them look unconfident and weak. Now, number 2, beta females' empathy and care way more intense, but they neglect themselves. Now, a beta female, which much like an Omega female, a woman, is also empathetic. They don't let others suffer and help them whenever possible. However, they overdo themselves, get in trouble instead. They suffer by themselves to protect others. And they are reliable, but at the expense of their own happiness. Number 3, similar to Omegas, she does not make the first move, but the reason is different. The Omega and Beta woman do not pursue their partners, but Omegas are confident and know their worth. Beta women feel they are too inferior, don't deserve their romantic interest. Okay, now, number 4. Unlike Omega women, she wants to fit in. Beta women feel anxious about not being enough. She feels she must try to fit in. It makes her more scared and nervous, harder to fit in. Now let's go on and get to next in the hierarchy. Omega female versus the Delta female. Delta women are popular with being compassionate and helpful, but they are pretty realistic. So people assume they're pessimistic, so let's compare them here. Number 1, like Omega female, Delta women are also introverted. Okay? Just like Omega, Delta females like to stay at home, avoid socializing. They can't have fun with new people out of the blue. They feel shy, reserved like the Omegas. Very interesting, isn't it? Number 2, similar to Omega, Deltas are helpful, but they're realistic. Omega women inspire others with their positive approach, but Delta women are realistic and can make others feel low. Their practical thoughts often scare others. Delta females are like Omegas are also helpful. They support others as much as they can, but don't give them vain hope. Okay? Number 3, Omegas and Deltas want a loving partner. Now, the Omegas want somebody to chase her and woo her, but a Delta, you got to wait and warm up. It could take a very long time. All right? And you got to be able to be compatible. You follow me? Delta female desires a partner to love, respect, care, and understand and cherish her. She wants them to be loyal to her, communicate differences, work on a healthy bond. Moving on, Gamma females come next in the hierarchy, so let's head right in. Now, Omega female versus a Gamma. Okay? Gamma women are self-confident, self-aware, compassionate. They're pretty similar to Omega women. But is that the entire truth? Let's find out here. Number 1, like Omega females, Gamma females are self-aware. Gamma female knows their true values similar to Omega women. They're self-aware, don't let others treat them wrong. If people try to make them second-guess their action, they're still confident in themselves. Okay? Number 2, Gamma females like Omega are also helpful. Gamma women, just like Omega women, are extremely helpful toward others. She feels motivated to reach her goals. She depends on others to fulfill her wishes. She definitely supports others to pick the right pace of the process. Number 3, like Omega women, she knows her worth. Gamma females know their own worth. They never settle in for anything less than what they deserve. Their great quality in their partner must be a strength. Okay? Unlike Omega, she's an organized person. So there's a big difference between a Gamma woman and an Omega woman. All right? She has a strict schedule, leads a healthy life, has an organized lifestyle and space. Lastly, let's figure out the relationship with one outside the hierarchy. Now, we're fixing to get to the nitty-gritty. Are you ready? The Omega female versus the Sigma female. This is going to get quite interesting. Are you ready? Most obvious similarity between Sigma and Omega women is their desire to be out of the hierarchy. But they definitely aren't the same. Sigma females compared to the Alpha females, where the Omega females are at the bottom. So let's go ahead and compare them here. Number 1, a Sigma female is much more confident than the Alpha. No, not, okay, let me reread that again. The Sigma females are much more confident than the Omega females, right? I'm sorry I misread that. I'm kind of going a little too fast for my eyes to catch up. Sigma women are self-aware. They know what they do, what they can voice out confidently. Their confidence reaches a different peak. When they debate with someone, they carry themselves with extreme self-confidence. This makes the other person doubt themselves instead. Number two, they can do anything for loved ones like omegas. For much like omegas, Sigma women are ready to go out of their way for their loved ones. They don't mind getting the shorter side of the stick to help them out. Number three, unlike omegas, Sigma women want the best for themselves. These are fiercely independent, self-confident, self-reliant, and they're survivalists too. Sigma females aren't big on romance and love. Rather, they want a smart, successful person by their side. She usually goes for the alpha or the Sigma partners and occasionally wants the beta partners if she's masculine. So in this case, it can work either way in this stance. Number four, like omegas, they're never interested in fitting in. Are you enjoying this topic? Sigma women don't care about the hierarchy. They don't want to do anything with it. They like to be lone wolves away from any social group. They possess that lone wolf personality. And they could be Sigma empath. Those you will want to steer clear from. If you anger them, you will pay the price. So, now let's move on, shall we? Sigma women don't care about the hierarchy. They don't want anything to do with it. They like to be lone wolves away from the social group. If you're curious about an Omega female's performance professionally, let's unveil them here. All right? Omega female at work. Omega female are more focused on their work than getting close to coworkers. However, they help their coworkers when they need them. They don't want to be in charge of others' lead and know more about such interesting facts. Let's dive in. She'll keep her coworkers at a distance. Okay? She doesn't believe in making a lot of friends. Rather, she's content with 2 or 3 friends always support her. She's introverted, so she does not seek friendship in the workplace. Before she joins the workforce, she probably has enough friends, so she won't get close to them. However, she does come extremely close to them. She'll always help them out. Now, you look for her to attend office events, she won't be there. Number 2, she hardly attends office events. Due to her introversion and limited social skills, she will not be present at most office events unless attendance is mandatory. That's the only way you're going to get her to come join. If it's mandatory, she'll be there. But she'll be in a corner somewhere out of the spotlight. She won't be there. She'd rather work harder or stay at home and enjoy herself. Her superiors may have a poor impression of her, but she doesn't mind. Okay, her comfort is a priority. If people get offended by it so little, she can't help it. I mean, if you have an Omega female on the job or in the workforce, cherish them. They're very hard and loyal workers. If it's very challenging. All right? Co-workers feel inspired by her. Due to her creative intelligence, she's always finds solutions to the worst problems. Her approach is the way unique from others, which helps her deal with things with ease. Now, though she's at the bottom of the hierarchy, she's no less than the alpha female when she faces trouble. She's popular in the workplace for being a great problem solver. Number 4, she's an overachiever in interesting jobs. Okay? If her profession challenges her and intellectually makes her use her brain cells, she's beyond motivated. She devotes herself to performing well in her task. Eventually, she performs far better than expected. Most employees lag in challenging tasks, but she gets charged up to improve herself. Her boss feels proud to have her on board. That's a plus. Number 5, her performance hits rock bottom in boring jobs. Now, to the boss out there that are listening to this, if you get an Omega female, she feels bored, her performance might be lacking. On the other hand, troublesome if her job is too easy or repetitive or needs muscle memory instead of using her brain. She won't be able to deliver more than average performance. She might struggle to meet her target or make mistakes on a job. She can't thrive in a job or project where she doesn't feel challenged. All right, there's more to know about the Omega female's professional life. You can know everything about her here. On the other hand, if you're curious about her personal life, here's some juicy bits about it, okay? Now, similar to a Delta female, if you're a stranger, she needs time to trust you, okay? When it goes to relationship, Omega females cherish their close bond. She can go out of their way for them. If they aren't close to them, they have their guard on, so they dig deep on that here. If you're a stranger, she needs time to trust you. She needs time to warm up to you, kind of like a Delta female. Omega women are introverted, don't feel comfortable around new people. They need time to let their guard down. They're always shy and reserved. So if you aren't close to an Omega female, she won't express her thought openly to you. Even your distant relative or classmates of first grade, she needs time to open up. Now, number 2, she limits her friend circle at 5. So, she doesn't believe in befriending everyone she meets. She only makes friends with less than 5 people in her life. If she doesn't befriend you, she don't think that you are a bad person or she doesn't trust you. Rather, she wants to stick to the smaller circles, stay away from drama. She don't like a bustling group because it overwhelms her. Are you getting the picture? Number 3, if you're close, she will never force you to be with her. Omega female often stick close to an intimate friend circle. So people often assume she clings to these people 24/7. However, that's far from reality. She never pushes her loved ones to be around her. If they have prior engagement, she tells them to have fun. If they feel bad, because she feels left out, she doesn't let them sacrifice for her. Number 4, she's always there for good advice. If you face a tricky life situation, she's steady with her great life advice. Whether you're a coworker or a best friend, if she knows you're in a pinch, she'll support you. If you're close to her, she'll go out of her way for you. Omega girls have creative intelligence. She can figure out solutions for all problems. She is a great advisor, motivator, and problem solver. Now, take very important notice to number 5. Okay? Small talk won't land you a date. Did you see that? An Omega woman does not like small talk because it does to help her growth. Discuss the obvious doesn't make her feel good at all. Rather, she feels bored and zones out. She might even use an excuse to get away from you. If you want to hit on her, find out her interest. A deep topic can catch her attention and land you on a date. Are you reading this? Omega male romantic compatibility. However, you're interested in an Omega woman romantically, then you must know her compatible partners and her qualities first. So, number 1, an alpha partner. Omega women are old school romantics. They want their partners to woo them. Alpha men and women are known to chase their partners. They're straightforward about the feeling and desire to dominate the relationship. So, an alpha partner might make an Omega heart skip as she's romantically submissive. Due to the alpha's jealous and overbearing nature, he or she dedicates a lot of attention to her. Romantic pairing of these two emotionally, sexually, romantically satisfy both. Number 2, someone who knows when to make her a priority. Now, an Omega female has a pretty small circle, but she never desired to be only highlight of her loved one's life. She wants everyone to be happy about her own interests. So if her partner wants to go out with friends, she never stop them. Okay? But she knows that relationship depends on mutual love, such as she enjoy them both. They also prioritize her. They must know when to give her time and not always be selfish. Omega women live in a messy space. She hardly focuses on tidying because a chaotic space calms her. Now, her partner doesn't need to accept her mess or sacrifice hygiene, but they must not be too concerned about it. They definitely mustn't be a perfectionist or a minimalist, or a relationship won't even last a week. She may not care about her looks, but they have to accept her natural beauty. Alrighty. Number 4, someone who appreciates her long rambles. She loves to talk about deep stuff, but never expect everyone to be interested. And rather, she knows that everyone has different interests. Have her in front of her, love her. She'll be transparent about herself. So when she talks about that intellectual stuff for hours, her partner must at least be open to listening. They must get away from being distracted and pay attention to her. They must say, "You steal my heart" every time you talk about these things. You'll get her attention when you do that. Number 5, someone who won't change for her. Omega female is still childish deep within. No woman around her is the same. She let out her inner kid around her trustworthy loved ones. People ask her to change, but she confidently protects this side of her. She's compatible with a partner who won't ask her to change. If she acts goofy, they must never ask her to act like a lady or behave herself. They must encourage her to be that way. But hey, that's not all. So now you understand what an Omega female is. Okay, however you do suspect someone who's close as an Omega female, let's have a little chat here. Now, I've already described the traits of an Omega female here. Based on, here's a quiz to find your answer. You know if someone's an Omega female. Suggest they take the quiz for the perfect answer. Did you know that? Find out. So did you find out you're an Omega female? Great. Let's talk about it a bit here. And being an Omega female, you might feel inferior due to your position in the hierarchy. There's some cons to your personality. You might feel low because you don't fit in any group. To work on everything and feel better about yourself, here's a quick guide. Number 2, get some sunshine. Okay? Where you won't want to socialize, your friends are busy, you're stressed, do one thing. Shut yourself in a room, play video game, read books. Set off the fantasy world and enjoy your time. Get some sunshine. However, this harms your health in multiple ways. It might hurt your posture, weaken your muscles from sitting throughout the day, or hurt your eyes from too much blue light exposure. You must go out in the sun for some vitamin D for your bones. Natural light is greenery will also help keep your eyes healthy. Number 2, make more friends. You're pretty happy with a small, intimate circle of friends. You don't see any need to get more friends. However, your friends will become busy at some point. They will have a hectic schedule with their job, baby, partner, in-laws, their own parents. You might feel fine being on your own currently. After all, they make time for you at least once a month. Eventually, it'll be hard to meet them once in a few months. Don't even assume that this is exaggerated, because life takes a worse turn in your 30s and 40s before you feel lonely and abandoned to get some more friends. Number 3, be careful about your career choices. You can progress and succeed in your career only if you're motivated. But your sole motivation at work comes from challenging jobs and responsibilities. Okay, are you getting this? If your job doesn't make you burn some brain cells, don't feel driven at all, in that kind of job, you feel like not giving your all, your career will lead to a standstill situation. Okay? So you must find things you're genuinely passionate about fast, especially before you pursue college, as they must do. Otherwise, you'll get an unnecessary student loan for yourself. Number 4, socialize once in a while. All right? So you need to socialize once in a while. Social events make you feel uncomfortable. You often avoid it unless it involves close people. You also dislike how your empathetic side notice others' negative feelings and feels anxious. However, it's not a good idea to skip all the time. You might lose the chance to make influential connections. Whether you're a businesswoman, office lady, or a freelancer, you can't get many opportunities in professional life through you can get many opportunities in professional life through socializing. Remember, it's who you know, okay? You find a suitable partner through socializing. Otherwise, it's almost impossible to find anyone in your small circle. Number 5, consider a makeover. You're focused on the academic professional life. You often overlook details like tidiness. This issue can affect your appearance. Okay? Due to lacking appearance, you may not land a perfect job or crush may ignore you. You may say that's a poor way of judging human beings, but it's standard in the current world. If you don't put up, people won't consider you a great catch professionally and romantically. So get a makeover if you need it. That makes sense. Of course, that's not enough to manage your troubles. Check the full guide here. If someone close to you is an omega female, it's time to be a bit cautious. So let's know more here. Now, how to deal with an omega female. Remember, she's sensitive to negative emotions. She's pretty strict about her socializing with new people. So whether you're close to her or not, you're figuring of things to help you deal with her well. Number 1, never force her to socialize. She's introverted, reserved, and shy. No matter what you say, you can't force an introvert to enjoy a social situation with unknown faces. She often turns down social situations, so don't mind her. If her presence is important to you, be by her side throughout the time that you're close. Allow her to bring a friend with her to help her feel comfortable. Okay? If it's an office event and you're not close to her, or she can't bring anyone with her, don't force it on her to attend it. Help her set limit for me time. If you're her lover or best friend or extroverted, she always encourages you to go out, but she won't ask you to stay back with her because she likes it. However, just make sure you don't overdo it and take advantage of her goodwill. She will need you by her side because she hardly has many people around her. So understand when she genuinely needs you beside her and sacrifices the party on those days. Nice. Don't push her to make more friends. Her social circle is small, extremely small. So she might eventually be left alone with her friends and become busy with her life. She'll make more friends before she reaches the miserable point. However, you must never force her to make a choice. Don't always nag her to go out and make new more friends. Make sure you don't sound rude if you're a friend. Be cautious of how you convey this. She might assume you're tired of her and she'll feel hurt and rejected. Number 4, respect her inner circle. Very important here. Have you noticed? She only makes a few friends in her life. They accept and love her unconditionally, makes her feel validated. So they're extremely precious to her. Sometimes she might devote more time to her friends than herself. If you're a lover, family member, or another friend, you might feel jealous of them. However, communicate how you feel left out. Don't speak ill of them. She's very protective, otherwise she'll be worsening your bond with her. That's very important to take into consideration, okay? Number 5, don't expect consistency in her work. If you have an omega female employee, she'll impress you with her challenges and responsibilities. You might assume she's a genius and rely a lot on her. She's not a great worker if the task is too easy, repetitive, or doesn't appeal to her brain at all. Just because a great at tricky tasks, don't expect her to be good at common tasks too. Otherwise, you'll be extremely disappointed. There are many more ways to make your connections work out, so refer to this piece for the rest. I'm not going to click on it for you. You'll have to find it yourself. But the link to his website will be found in the description box, okay? So don't worry, I won't let you out. However, you're interested in becoming an Omega female yourself? Well, there are perfect ways waiting for you here. Now, how to be an Omega female? Honestly, nobody wants to be an Omega female because of the lowest position of the hierarchy. But this personality comes with its own perks. So if you want to become one, let me help you embrace the good traits of Omega female here. Now, focus on quality over quantity in friendship. In this era, people consider Facebook friends and Instagram followers as real life friendship. If you're the same snap out of that, gaining 1 million followers and friends doesn't make any sense at all. If you lose your job or break up with your long-term partner, these people won't care. If you post about it on social media, they only have fun listening to your story. So they're nothing like real friends. Are you getting this? So make genuine friends that care for you. Stop chasing numbers. A bigger circle doesn't make you a happier person. Set good socializing boundaries. Okay? Now, this occurs to socializing boundaries. This occurs to many people. Okay? People struggle to refuse invitations most of the time. Students fear to be cut out of them and become uncool. So they want to fit in. So they try to attend all their classmates' events if they're not close. Employees attend office event because they're afraid of getting on their boss's bad side. If socializing exhausts you, then it's time for a change. Prepare for an unbelievable excuse and refuse them. If you can't do it right away, then when they invite you, don't extend it to the last moment. That way you won't offend them. Number 3, don't monopolize your friends. Suppose you just like socialize. That's a turn down an event. You feel insecure, overthink whether you made the right choice. During this moment, seek a friend or a company. Go out with them and keep the negative thoughts at bay. Okay, it'll help you detract your mind and get used to refusing invitation. However, if a friend may not be available, then what? Then go to plan B. Well, don't force your friend to do anything. Don't expect them to be there for you all the time, except when they have a life too. They may not always be around. Make sure you also don't demand their time whenever you refuse socializing. They may not always have time for you back. You see how it works both ways? Invest in your interest. When your friends aren't available, you might be in a pickle. It's not that bad. You only got to focus on something else. Find out something solo, interest. You don't ever dare think it won't be fun because you're alone. You can start watching that interesting crime series or visit that classic restaurant you always wanted to. Play with the kids in the neighborhood and so on. You can also join the gym, go for a walk in a new neighborhood. Prepare your favorite dish at home. It's your call, so choose wisely. Number 5, embrace empathy. To be perfect Omega female, try to be empathetic. If you aren't naturally empathetic, learn it slowly. You don't need to be so empathetic that you be overwhelmed like an Omega woman, but you at least try to compensate it toward others. Be open to listen to worries and pay attention to them. Get away from any distraction, focus on their emotions. Try putting yourself in their shoes, consider their circumstance, and then advise others. But the methods aren't simple at all. There's more to do, and you can get everything here. All right. A word from Pleasant Real Personality. If you're an Omega female, understand your positive and negative traits. Enhance your strong parts and work on flaws. If you know an Omega female, don't challenge her confidence for her personality. She knows what she wants in life. Encourage her to improve herself. Don't expect too much. If you're a close friend, don't support her during her trying times. Respect her thoughts and emotions. You'll have a amicable bond. Now, you ever find yourself caring about what people think? You ever follow social norms that really you, and you can't understand how other people want to follow everybody else? You might prefer your own company, or have one or two close friends. If so, you might be an Omega female. Okay. So the Omega female is pretty much driven out of the hierarchy or closed off. Okay? Now, male personalities have also discussed more recently. Many guys related to being alpha, omega, delta, sigma, gamma, or zeta. Okay? Not men who have personality archetype. Women also follow the social hierarchies, okay? Did you see the recent article about the Sigma female? Similar to the Sigma guys, these are women who follow their own rules and don't fit into social situation. There aren't just Sigma females out there. There are Beta, Gamma, Delta, Alpha, and Omega females. And this article is all about Omega females are amazing personality traits. Read on to discover if you're Omega female. Omega female is a woman who's introverted. She just doesn't like to be center of attention. They do their own thing and are pretty intelligent. She will come down, normally play down her intelligence, not wanting to show off. She would prefer to spend time alone working on things like pursuing her hobbies and interests. Now, we know the basics of what an Omega female goes through, the traits and characteristics of Omega females in detail to see if you can relate to any. We already talked about it. We already talked about that. We already talked about this. Now, she could be overly sensitive. Negative traits that Omega females have is their tendency to be overly sensitive. She spends a lot of time in her own head. She runs the risk of overthinking and getting upset about situations that can't be helped. Her sensitivity means she sometimes finds it hard to regulate her emotions. She's prone to anxiety, outbursts, sadness, and anger. She's also a very smart person, but sometimes finds it difficult to be rational about her emotions. Sometimes the way the world views her can get to her. She doesn't really care about what others think of her, okay? But sometimes she gets frustrated by it all. Because she's a bit of a misfit and prefer her own company. Colleagues and acquaintances might judge her. Just to an Omega female, she doesn't understand why it matters. Now, her sensitivity is often linked to her empathy. She's overly sensitive to other people's feelings. About being alone with people can make her overly emotional. She will also take on other people's feelings her own and become quite a burden. If you're an Omega female and find it very difficult to regulate your emotions, there's help out there. You need support. See your doctor. Tell them about your anxiety, stress. You can look into other forms of healing by going to a professional who, helps in that department. And furthermore, Omega female doesn't really care about designer brands, what celebrity is dating who, and new beauty trend. All right. Her colleagues are discussing these type of things. Omega female often tune out and get lost in her own mind. And this means she will often get accused of being a snob. But Omega female can't help not being interested. So, I already covered some of that in my previous article. She doesn't want to fit in. She can be messy. And it's chaotic. She knows where everything's at. And let's go to the next one. So I'm going to go ahead and now, Omega female traits, she has a private personality. All right. She has a very private personality. She's intellectually competent. She has a heightened emotional sensitivity. Sorry about the pop-up. She can be creatively messy. She gets lost in her thoughts. She could be overly emotional. She does not like conforming to a societal group to belong. So she prefers profound conversation. She is a child at heart. She has a service-oriented mindset. So, relationship traits of Omega. She had an idealistic view of love. She's aware of what she wants out of a relationship. Omega female prefers traditional way of dating. She will not settle for anything less. Now, we're going to take a good look at this. Anyways, I'm going to put this link to the, so I'm going to put this link to this website in the description box below. And you'll get to look at it on your free time. And I wanted to do a video on Omega female, what distinguishes her from the rest of the pack in the hierarchy, okay? Now, we already talked about this female. So now let's go ahead and end this here. Stay tuned for more to come on the next video, okay? Peace.